Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy New Month. Happy Independence Day. If you're a Nigerian and you live in Nigeria, or even if you don't live in Nigeria and you're a Nigerian, happy Independence Day to all of us. We thank God for how far He's brought us as a country, and we thank God for where He's taking us to. Okay, so without wasting any time, we'll just go right into today's class because we have a lot of things to do today. But before we dive into the class, can we do a recap from yesterday? I mean, if you're around yesterday, can you put in the chat what did you learn? What were your key takeaways? So please let me know. Okay, good evening, good evening, welcome. Welcome to class. Welcome to class. Awesome. Benefits of niching. Yes, picking a specialization instead of being a jack of all trades. Good. Add value before chasing money. Challenges of niching, understood importance of niching, learned how to stand out in my niche of choice. Okay, awesome. Awesome. I have to find a niche and stay focused on it. Um, Niche down and be so good, yes, at the said field. Choosing a niche. Okay, be valuable in your niche, creating a niche for oneself, which makes you unique. Awesome. Well done, everyone. You've done well. Thank you for the brief recap. If you're just joining the class for the first time, well, I think I'll just advise you to I advise you after today's class to watch yesterday's class rather served as a background, as a foundation for what we'll be doing today, right? So you can stay on the class today then, but I would really advise that you go back to yesterday's class to um, take it and watch it so you can be on the same page. Okay, today is going to be quite hands-on because we will be looking at, okay, before I go into this one, we'll be looking at choosing your niche as a virtual assistant, right? So we're going to be doing a couple of exercises to choose our niche as a virtual assistant. A lot of you yesterday were asking, how do I know what niche? How do I choose my niche? And so we will be working on that today. Okay. However, before I go into the class, I would like to also introduce myself again in case you were not here yesterday or in case you joined the class after I had introduced myself. My name is Ololade and I have 6 years of experience in administration and customer success. I started out my career as an executive, as a personal assistant, as an executive assistant, and along the line I also did some I also had a brief stint as a virtual assistant as well at Deolasego Limited. Okay. I have developed communication skills, organizational skills along the way. And currently I work with Mono. Mono is a tech company as a partner success specialist. And so, yeah, that's this in a nutshell. If you want to connect with me, I'm very active on LinkedIn and you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Olade Akimbade as well on LinkedIn. Okay, so now we'll get right into today's class. Choosing your niche as a virtual assistant. A lot of us had questions yesterday. How do I know what niche? How do I know what to do? Some didn't even realize that you even had like niches in this field. So that's what we're looking at today. How do you choose your niche as a virtual assistant? Okay. So now, first things first. We touched on this very briefly yesterday, but now we'll go into details today. So understanding different niches. You have different niches as an assistant. We have different, you can niche in different ways. So I'll start with the industry-based niche. Okay. So industry-based niche. Now, if you want to niche based on industry, we have different categories. You can become a fintech virtual assistant. And what do they do? As a fintech virtual assistant, what would your task be doing? Please note that this list is by no means exhaustive because it can vary based on your employer or on the individual you're working with. However, this is just to give you an idea of what is required or what it entails working in these industries. Okay? So, fintech virtual assistant, the tasks will include customer support because you are relating with customers, right? Compliance assistance. Fintech companies have a lot of compliance regulations. You have CBN regulation here, you have this regulation there, you have a lot because you deal with people's monies, right? And you have SEC, you have different licenses that sometimes might need to be renewed, and a lot of things. So that's part of what you need to be informed about these things, right? You also have to do a lot of data entry because in fintech you work with data a lot of times. So you'd have to do data entry, input data. Sometimes, thankfully, we have softwares now that make these things manual. But in the case where it is not, where you're working with a startup that probably cannot invest in those softwares yet, you might have to do some manual data entry. You have to work with Excel, do some data visualization, data analysis. These things are inevitable if you want to work in fintech as a virtual assistant. Now, SaaS virtual assistant, like I mentioned yesterday, SaaS is basically saying software as a service. So, for example, Bumper, if you are on Instagram here, Bumper is basically a website. It's a website that gives people, entrepreneurs, the opportunity to list their businesses. It just create a website for you rather than going through the long process of hiring a software engineer to do all of the back end work. So Bumper does that for you, right? So that's a software company. If you want to work in companies like that, if that's your fancy, things that you would do, you'd onboard clients, right? Because what does onboarding a client mean? You would teach a client how to use your product. That's what it means to onboard a client. So, for example, you have someone you are working as a virtual assistant or as an executive assistant at Bumper, for example, and then you need to onboard a client. What would that look like? You'd speak to the client, get on a call with the client, take the client through how to use how to use the software, ensure the client is getting maximum value from it. Show them the different features. Oh, this is how you list your website. This is how you list your products. This is how you upload your picture. This is where you put your address. This is how to take orders. This is how to this is how to include details of what you're selling. You will show the customer how to use the products. That's what happens when you work in a SaaS company. If you probably don't like talking, maybe there are people that actually don't like to talk a lot, then you might not want to work. You might not don't even go close to SaaS because with SaaS most likely you would deal with people. You have to onboard people because your products that not everyone is tech savvy. Not everyone has the same level of tech savviness. So some people need hand holding. Right. So if you also want to work it out, you need a lot of customer support. Someone can reach out to you and say, "Oh, I tried to upload my product on this back end, but I can't even see the picture, or I don't know what's happening, or there's a downtime." You need to provide support. Okay. Then data management as well. You might need to do some data analysis. How many customers did you signed up on our platform, to use our platform this week? How many customers signed up? Do we have a drop in customer sign-ups? Why do we have that drop? So some data management is definitely going to come in there. Software integrations, someone is trying to integrate. If you're working with a company that has like a more complex software that needs integrations, integrating their software with another software, like Paystack, for example. Paystack is a fintech company, but they also do integrations as well. So if you're doing that, you might have to help customers with integrations. You need to understand. If you're someone who does not even like the sound of technology at all, then this is not a good fit for you. If you just don't like it, like anything that has to do with technology, that has to do with it, if you don't even want to even hear it, then you might not really thrive in this kind of industry. So you should not even think of niching down in this kind of industry because you just be frustrated, and you also frustrate your executive. All right. Then e-commerce, if that is your If e-commerce is your thing, like okay, you want to be in the e-commerce industry, you really love it. Some of the things you do, order management. If you decide to work maybe for a fashion brand, for example, that's maybe a ready-to-wear fashion brand that lists their product online or that has like a brick and mortar store, order management, inventory management. Oh, how many pieces of skirts do we have today? How many tops do we have tomorrow? Let's count. If you're someone that you don't have patience to count all those things, don't like it, you cannot. This is not your field, right? E-commerce inventory updates. Oh, how many threads do we have in the store? How many irons do we have left? How many buttons do we have in the showroom? These are the things you need to do. Inventory management. Okay, how many MOQs? MOQs basically means minimum order quantity of XYZ materials do we need to buy? At what point do we need to get to in terms of inventory level before we stock up? So these are things you need to do. You put all of this data together, right? Product listings, customer inquiries. The customer can walk in and tell you, oh, I'm a size 12. What will work best for me? You won't say, madam, I'm not the tailor, I'm not the designer, or I don't know. You need to know these things, even if you are not particular, if you're not this, even if you're not the owner of the company, obviously, but you need to be there. You need to understand these things. If you don't like an eye for fashion, if you don't even know how to combine colors, you can't even work you're probably not a good fit for the fashion industry, right? So now, real estate virtual assistants, customer support, customer support, um, com- customer support, compliance assistants. If you work in the real estate industry, you have to do like product listings. You have to go do viewings. You'd go view your product. And nowadays that you might even have to also list it online. All of these property listings, like this, I think there's Property Pro. I know there's also Split. A Split is a tech company. It's a real estate tech company. So there's all of that. We have tech companies that are also into real estate that give you a chance to own, to co-rent an apartment, and then you earn money off that. If you want to work in that kind of organization, then you have to love houses. You have to understand what it means. What kind of furnitures and fittings do we have there? You have to understand the value of these things, right? Okay, so record label virtual assistants, because I heard there was someone on the call yesterday who was asking about this. Artist management. You need to know how to manage an artist. You need to be a people person, because someone who is a record label owner definitely has a lot of people around them. This is like, entertainment. You understand what I'm saying? So you are there. You can't say, I'm shy, and you want to work in the record as a record with a record label owner. That's not going to work. You have to love people. You need to understand how to manage people. You need to understand how to relate with people. Very good interpersonal skills. You need to be able to manage. These things have to be there. Social media promotion. Your executive has an upcoming show, maybe like a gospel night. And there's a lot of, how these things work. A lot of social media promotions, a lot of ads, that would go out. These are things you need to know. Event coordination, definitely. You need to understand how to manage artisans, how to manage, you go out to look for, what hall is suitable, what's the best location, where are we going to host the event, the venue, is it on the island, is it on the mainland, what are we doing, how many people are we getting in vendors, let's manage crowd, all these things you need to know it. If you're going to work as a record label virtual assistant, they deal with crowd. Fan engagement, you're with your manager and somebody walks up to him and grabs them from behind and says, I want to take a picture. Understand all these things. How to manage fans. You don't want to chase away your executives fans and say, please get. No, you can't do that. So you have to understand how to manage these things, right? So these are things you should understand. Medical virtual assistants manage patient records. You cannot bring a patient that has malaria and join it together with a patient that has high blood pressure. You cannot do all those things. You can't put it. If you have a digital software which you use to manage these things, you need to have section them. Oh, this is that drug, medication, paracetamol will be here. The medications for this will be there. Attention to detail, because one single error can cost a life. It can literally cost a life. That's it. So healthcare is delicate. So if you are managing all of those, if you're someone that you don't really like, putting your eyes on things, or you can't thrive in this kind of environment. So you are managing patient records, you are ensuring that the appointments are, imagine a patient that probably has like a recurring appointment for something, and then you need to follow up with the patient to ensure they come in, and then you forgot, or you probably somehow mixed the records up. You can't work in this kind of setting. You need to be calm, you need to be collected, you need to be detailed, you need to be organized to the T. There's almost no room for error because of how delicate this kind of industry is. Schedule appointments. So, for example, you have a case, a patient who wants to come see your executive, and you need to maybe schedule an appointment with the person. You can't say you forgot because you don't even know how severe or how chronic the person's condition is. So there's nothing like, oh, I sorry, I forgot that woman was supposed to come in 2 weeks ago. How was it? No, there's nothing like that here, because it is very, very, one mistake that's the end, right? So handling insurance claims, I hope you guys, in the medical industry, they deal a lot with insurance, right? You probably have someone who's coming and says, oh, I'm on insurance. You find out what is your insurance level, what does it cover, so we know, oh, do we have to reach out to the insurance company to validate your claim? These things are there, right? You also respond to patient inquiries. A patient comes and asks you a question. Of course, you're not expected to. You're not a medical doctor. If you're not in the medical field, it's okay. But at least some basic understanding of these things. Get interested in it, right? So you understand. Like, so that's what when we talk about niching, these are different things you'd consider. By the time we get to, finding out your niche, you'd understand better, right? Okay. So now, still on understanding your different niches, now let's talk about skill-based niches. We already spoke about industry-based niche, right? Now we're talking about skill-based. So for example, you want to be okay, so let me just really take this question. That of a record label. Yeah, someone was asking about. So the thing is, with some of these roles, right, you cannot work, some of them might not require, you have to work hybrid, right? So if you're going to manage a record label owner, on days when you don't have an event, for example, on days when you don't have what, maybe you're not busy or they're not having an event, of course you can work virtually. If you understand what I'm saying, you can definitely work virtually. But if you have an event, because sometimes these events are not even every time. Some of them have events maybe once in a year, twice in a year, or once in a quarter. That is probably the only time you need to go and support your executive. But most often, the other times you be at home, making your orders, reaching out to artisans, trying to secure venue. You can do all of that from the comfort of your home, right? But then when you decide when it's maybe time for an event, when it's like their peak period, then some of them might require that you come in to assist them. Like I said, there are some different peculiarities with this thing. So if you decide to work as a record label VA, understand what it entails. And that's why when we come to the aspect of choosing your niche, how to choose your niche, these are the things you consider. If you cannot leave your house at all, then there are some niches you should not even bother going into. For example, if you want to become a record label, you cannot even afford. If you can decide, it can be virtual, like I said. If you are for days leading up to the event, you can do all of that online. You can manage, people, and you can make your phone calls. You can book your tickets. You can do all of social media promotions online. But when it then comes to the day of the event, you might be required to actually go in, like actually be at the event venue that day physically. So these are things you also need to consider when you are choosing your niche. Like if you don't want to go out at all, if you don't want to step out of your house, then there's some things you just avoid entirely. Okay? I hope that answered your question. So moving on, marketing and lead generation VA. If you are very good at marketing and you said, what, I want to specifically focus on marketing or on lead generation. Some of the things you need to do, email marketing. You can't decide to be a marketing VA and then you don't know what MailChimp is. You don't know what Flowdesk is. You've not even started, because these are email softwares that you use to send out email blasts, email newsletters, right? Content creation, you don't like writing, then there's no need to be here, because you are going to, when you're marketing, especially if you're dealing with digital ads, you might have to write your copies for the ads that are going out, right? Social media marketing, do you know how to properly run an ad on Facebook to target your audience? Do you know how to properly run a TikTok ad? Are you even up to date on the latest trends? Now, recently I heard that Netflix is coming. I heard that Netflix is actually, sorry, not Netflix, Pinterest now They will soon start running ads. Are you even up to date about these things? If you're not interested in social media, if you feel like social media wears you out, then you don't have any reason to come close to this niche at all. Okay. Now, customer support VA. This is the part where like everybody knows. This is where everybody thinks being a VA is, right? You have responding to queries, troubleshooting. Someone reaches out and says, "Oh, I have an issue with um trying to use something is not working. Oh, your software I'm trying to use and it's not working. You are there. Okay, let me see what happened. Can you share a screenshot of your screen? Oh, okay, let's get on a meeting right now. Let me see what's happening there. Oh, what did you press? Or what did you do? Oh, you've not, I can see your billing has expired. Can you pay? So these are things you would do, troubleshoot. Okay. Customer satisfaction surveys. You might need to send out surveys to your customers to know how you are doing. So are they happy with your product? Is this something they want you to improve on? Is there something? These are things that you need to do. Software integrations, I already mentioned that earlier. Sometimes if you're working with a highly technical company, excuse me, you might need to integrate that might need software integrations. You might need to understand some tier 2 support, right? Which goes beyond the general level tier 1 support. Okay, so um bookkeeping, yeah. So Queen, yes, most the record label most likely is going to be hybrid and not remote, not fully remote. I mean, so bookkeeping specialist VA, okay, manage finances, track expenses, prepare financial reports. I mean, there are people that need people to just do this for them, like they just can't sit down with their financial reports, to look through it and to analyze it and do all of those. So they just need someone to just work on that for them, right? So if you really love all these things, you can offer your service as that, like analyze financial reports. That all these things are there. A financial report, even in terms of like when you're trying to write a business plan, I need to do like financial forecasting of your business. These are things people actually hire people to do it for them. Like, okay, I want to go into maybe the production of what now, cocoa, for example, and I want to get a grant from from the government. And of course, I need to submit my business plan. And every business plan has to go with a financial forecast of, we want to know if your financial forecast, basically to understand if your business will be successful in the next XYZ number of years. So you need to add all of those things to it. And some people really don't have the time. Some don't even have the technical know-how. So if you know you're very good at that, that's a service. That's a service you can offer, right? So yeah, SEO and content creation VA. Of course, you write blog posts. SEO, you ensure that your content is highly ranked on Google. If you're searching for something, ensure you put in the right keywords. If you don't like to write, this is not your niche. If you get tired of writing, this is not your niche. If you don't even like to read, this is also not your niche, because sometimes you have to work with people with industry that you don't even know anything about what they do. But because you need to read about them, because you need to write about them, you need to read about them. So you understand how best to write. You understand who their target audience is. So if you don't like writing, if you feel like you don't even like to read, this is definitely not your niche. Okay. So optimizing websites content, even with websites, there's a way you optimize your content for to ensure that it's better placed, it's better ranked on the webs on search engines. If you don't feel like this is just this is not your niche. Keyword research. There are certain keywords that you need to research. There are certain keywords that you need to impute in your content, and you also don't even need to over impute it, so it is not flagged as spam, right? So these are things that go into these types of niches. You can't just decide and say, which niche are they paying the most in? It's like tech is the new oil money, is the new what this is the new thing generating money now. That's what we're going to do next. That's not exactly how to determine your niche. Okay? All right. So moving on. Service-based niche. You can decide to be an operations and project management being. You feel like, oh, I really love project management. There's some people that can manage there's some people that are very good at managing projects. Just give them any projects. They will manage it. You will not even need to lift a finger. That's it. They know how to design project scopes from top to bottom, deliverables, as in they're on top of their game. There are people like that. If that is your skill, why not? You know how to manage project, you know how to coordinate a team. There are some people who they will not even leave their country and they are managing teams all over the world. If that's your strong point, this might probably be your niche. You know how to track progress, you know how to keep people on their toes, how to ensure things are done, nothing slips through the cracks, no one drops the ball, then you might just be a project manager. Okay? Virtual assistants for C-suite executives, like I mentioned yesterday, some people just don't. Some people just want to roll with the big guys. Like I don't want to work with, I don't want to work with middle management. I don't want to work with. No, I want to just go straight to board of directors, to executives, to managing directors, to CEOs, co-founders, COOs. Those are the people I want to work with. That's fine. Just ensure you have the skill set to work with them. These kind of people are busy individuals. They travel a lot. They have a lot of meetings. A lot of people are trying to look for their attention. They have to balance their personal life with their work life. They have to nothing must slip through the cracks. They have meetings, meeting coordination. They probably have meetings back to back. They must not forget they have high profile appearances. A lot of people are trying to vie for their attention. You have to be on top of your game, right? Then virtual assistants for entrepreneurs and startups. Okay. I mean, this is quite dicey because you have some entrepreneurs that are also very busy. Okay, so here is general admin support. Okay, business research. You may need to research about their businesses so you can offer actionable advice, actionable solutions. Client communication. Don't require that you talk to their customers on their behalf. You might take calls. You might really want to attend to their social media inquiries. Virtual assistants for entrepreneurs and startups. Okay, so that is it. All right. So basically, depending on whatever niche you want to work in, just ensure that you have the skills. Because, like I said, for anybody to hire you as a virtual assistant, I said this yesterday, it's most likely because they are too busy to handle everything themselves and they need an extra hand. And the last thing you want to do to any executive is to become a liability to them, such that they are managing themselves and they're also trying to manage you. It should be the other way. You should be the one managing them and not them managing you. Okay, so whatever niche you are going into, please ensure it is a niche that you are properly and totally skilled for. Ensure it is a niche where you are ready to put in the work. Do not decide to be a record label VA when you don't like to go out or when you feel I can't go anywhere. It's not going to work because sometimes you might need. I mean, your executive might need you to go with them to a show or to an event. Anytime, maybe once in a while, when they have like a very high profile appearance, they might need you to be there with them. So if you know that there is absolutely no occasion, nothing will ever bring you out of your house, please don't go that route. That's not your niche. Okay? So you have to think critically about it. What am I good at? I mean, we'll come into all of that, right? When the time comes. But yes, so you cannot just, like I said, money is one of it, right? Absolutely. But you can't just choose a niche based on, oh, this sounds very sweet. Or this looks like there's going to be a lot of money. Oh, this industry, they are making a lot of money. This is where I'm going. You can't do that. Okay? You have to sit critically and think about your strengths, think about your weaknesses, think about how much time you have to put into it. You might want to just do this at a part-time basis. Some executives are okay with having a part-time assistant. Some companies are okay with having a part-time assistant, and some cannot. They need you full-time, 9 to 5. And some are okay with you being fully remote. That's okay. Even if you are in Australia, as long as you're getting the job done, that's fine. And some cannot afford for you to be far away from them. You don't have to be fully on site, but then there are sometimes they might need you to come in to work with them. So these are different things you need to consider for as a VA for event planners. Trust me, you cannot do full remote. You would have to be on site because on the day of before the event, right? You can maybe be at home, do all of the coordination you need to do. Because for event planning, I hope you know you also have to have project management experience because an event is a project. You have timelines, you have event scope, you have the different people you're working with, you have stakeholders, you have deliverables, you have different aspects to it. You're going to manage artisans, manage the vendors, manage even the client. So these are things you need to have very strong sense of project management. You don't want to be the person that would probably forget something that is needed for the event. Maybe you need maybe the labels now, for example, that they need to put on the bottles or on the maybe the stickers they need to use for a particular design on that day, and then you forgot suddenly. These details count. So if you want to be an events an event manage sorry, you want to be a VA for event planners, understand that you cannot do fully remote. You can be virtual before the event, you can you can do your planning from home and all of that. But once you get to the event venue, I mean, sorry, you're most likely your executive will need you at the event venue. If you decide that you don't want to do anything um on site, just stick to the roles, the niches that you can actually work from home. For example, customer support is fine. There are companies that don't even see themselves face to face. Their team, they've never even seen themselves before, and they are thriving fine. So just look through the VAs, SEO and content. That's okay. You can in fact, work from anywhere in the world. That's fine as long as you're getting the job done. Graphics design, no problem. You don't even have to. You don't even need to even be able to recognize your CEO. That's fine as long as you're getting the job done. So, but there's some roles, there's some niches here that you have to come in. It cannot be virtual. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, awesome. So it just depends, right? So like I said, again, very important. These are the things you consider. Don't just say, it's like there's money in event too. I want to go and do events. Or record label. Those guys are making money. They're cashing out. Do you know how much Spotify royalty is? This is where I'm going. And then your executive then tells you, I need you in the office on so day. And like, what? Just don't even go there. Okay, as a medical VA, of course, if you can work fully remote, as long as you have your softwares installed, you have a good grip of things that need to be done. That's okay. Just ensure that your communication is spot on. You are able to effectively manage communication between your superior, your executive, and the customer or the client. That's fine. All right. That's why I said you need to look into this properly. If your deal breaker is I cannot work from the office or I cannot leave my house, then please avoid certain niches. Don't even go there. Okay. All right. So I hope I've cleared the air on that. It's working for event planners under entrepreneurs and startups. I guess you wanted to type startups there. Well, yes, it depends on how it depends on an event planner is an entrepreneur, definitely. But it depends on, in terms of startup, it depends on how long they've been existing for. There are some event planners that are probably maybe 2 years, a year old, and they're just starting out. So yeah, they're startups. And there's some event planners that are really established. They are probably like 25 years in business, and then they've like really been able to establish themselves in their industry. Like they have gone far, they have put the structure in place, they have a whole team, they have structures and systems and all those things. They even travel out of the country, like they are really established, like they have made a name. Of course, those ones might not be startups anymore, right? But if it's an event planner that is just trying to get their feet, that's trying to come up, that has probably just been in, that's still trying to establish structures, that's just been in business for maybe a couple of years and just trying to find a name and all of that, yeah, you can call them startups. Okay. So yeah, that is it. Like I said, eventually you need to just understand what it entails, right? Please give me a sec. Okay, you need to understand what it entails in your niche. Don't just choose a niche based on, this looks like it would give me a lot of money. You might get frustrated at the end of the day. Okay, so there are different things you need to consider. Next one, choosing the right niche as a virtual assistant. Assessing your strengths and your interests. I had already said it before. Working for C-suite executives, is it fully remote? Oh yeah, there are C-suite executives that don't require you to come in. They don't need you to come in as long as you're doing your job. And there are some C-suite executives that would require you to come in. So that's one thing you should understand. Because you are working with human beings, I said that yesterday, human beings are very dynamic. I can decide that I can decide to, okay, so there's something I'm gonna do for you tomorrow. I'll try to look for different different job ads that I have seen, or different job ads um different job ads for for virtual assistant roles or assistant roles. So you would see it. and understand what it's like. So when it comes to this particular role, there are some people that require, you know what, I don't need you in the office. Just work from your house, work from home, ensure you're getting the job done. There are some people like that. And there are some people that will tell you you can work from home on certain days, you can work from home, but once in a while, I would need you to come in physically. Maybe when I have a huge, or maybe when I have a very busy timeline, or when I have a very busy work um work schedule, I would need you to come in to assist. Like, for example, an event planner. You can do all of the coordination, everything from your house. You can do all your client meetings from home. But on the day of the event, they may need you to come in. I mean, it depends on them, right? If they are very established and they probably feel like they have a strong team on ground that can handle things and you don't have to be there, that's also still fine. It all depends on them. And that's why when you are one thing that would really help you is if you're applying to this, you look through the details of the job ad. What does it say? If you're unsure and you get called to an interview, ask these questions. Would I be required to come in at all? Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what you should put in mind. So it just depends on a lot of things. It's not like I said, because you're working with human beings and human beings are very dynamic. It's not a one-way traffic. It just depends. It depends on industry. It depends on the person, the executive themselves. Some executives that are very, very like they can't function without their assistants, right? And there's some executives that are fine. Just do what you need to do, and you don't even need to interact with them. So it just really depends on. That's why that's why I said I took my time to explain those things, the different things that are involved, so that you can understand. All right. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next section here. It says choosing the right niche as a virtual assistant. Remember, I said something. You cannot just choose a niche because you feel like this is what everybody's doing now, or this is what will give me the most money, or this is what my friends are doing, or this is what and this is the in thing, right? You can't choose it. You can't just pick. No, you can't. It doesn't happen that. It doesn't happen like that. You need to assess your strength, assess your interests. There are things, there are questions you need to ask yourself. There are things you need to take into consideration before you choose your niche. Okay? All right. Now, skills and strength. Before choosing a niche, it's essential to take stock of what you already know and what you're good at. If you remember yesterday, I mentioned that there's certain you can't your most likely your executive needs someone because they are very busy. They need someone who would come take the burden off them. They need someone who will come and hit the ground running. So they cannot afford for you to come in and you want to learn on the I mean it's now not like you cannot learn on the job, not like you cannot improve your knowledge, right? But you need to have had some fundamental knowledge about these things. Right? So most times when you come in, they want you to hit the ground running, like immediately. Take the load off them. Even if they want to give you that wiggle room to try to get to understand them, how they work, how they do things, it will not be for a stretch. Because, like I said, they are very busy people. Anyone who needs an assistant, it just simply means that they have more than they can handle by themselves. And so they need to buy themselves more time. And they are buying themselves more time by hiring you to take their burdens off of them. Okay, so you can imagine how frustrating it will be for an executive when even you that you are being hired to take the burden of them is adding your own work on their laps. They have to also micromanage you. Okay, so I said that before choosing a niche, it is essential that you take stock of what you already know and what you are good at. Okay, please ask yourself, what do I really know? What do I know already? And what am I good at? Now, number one, identify your current skills. Make a list of all the technical and soft skills you have acquired. Now, like I said, this class is hands-on. So I want you to get your pen and begin to ask what skills have you acquired? And it doesn't have to be in the four walls of a classroom, or it could be through past work experience. It could be through, like, when you were in school. Maybe when you were in school, you were the SCG president of your school, and you did a lot of, rallies, a lot of campaigns, and you are so good at doing campaigns. I mean, these things are there, right? So education, or even your hobby, you just love to write. There are some people that just absolutely love writing. There's no, like, they can just give them a scrapbook and they're just writing. They once if they don't even have to, they will just, anything can be an inspiration for them. They would see a cat, they write about the cat. The state of the nation, independence, they just love to write. Okay, so identify your current skills. And like I said, please, as I'm speaking, I need you to begin to do that. What are you really? I'll give you 5 minutes is too much. I'll give you 2 minutes. Make a list. What do you like to do? You like number? What do you like numbers? What exactly do you really? What skills do you have? Now, I didn't say interest. What can you do? What are those things you can do? Are you a people person? Do you just love to talk to people? Like, I just love speaking to people. I don't know. Like, even if you wake, like, even if there are a lot of people in the room, I just like talking to people. What can you do? Is this something you love to do? Is this, you love talking to people on the phone? You love helping people solve problems? You can draw. You're a very good artist. You can draw anything. Are you someone that can sell? Like, you can sell wheelchair to a man that has chair and tell them they can use to beautify their living room. What exactly can you do? What are your skills? What are your skills? So technical team, please, can you help put these questions together? So that I can have them all in one place. Even if I'm not able to answer the questions today, because like I said, we have a lot of hands-on exercises today, I would probably just dedicate tomorrow to answering questions. So technical team, please help with the questions together. Thank you. So I'm waiting. Please write that down. Your skills. I'm not. You can write it out in your. You should have a maybe a note where somewhere where you're taking notes, or just write it out somewhere like where you can refer to it, because we're going to do a couple of other things as well. So write it out somewhere where you're taking your notes. What are those things? What are your skills? What skills do you have? What skills do you have? So please write it out. Okay. 1 minute more. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So the next thing we're going to do now is you need to understand your personal interests. What things interest you? What things interest you? Do you like numbers? Do you just love to observe? You like shopping, unlike shopping, just see people, you just love to understudy shopping behavior. You want to know what is trending, in the e-commerce sector. These things just you just love it. So now your personal interest. Remember, the first one is your skills. What do you like? What skills do you have? Now, the next thing is, what are your personal interests? What kind of tasks excite you? Like, if they tell you, oh, come and do this, and you're happy. Oh, yes, yes, I'm happy to do this. You love, maybe if you see data, you just want to analyze data. You just love data analysis. Like any kind of data, you like to make sense of it. You just like to keep record. You like project management. You just like to manage projects. What are those things you are so interested in? What industries are you excited about? Like, you just want to read about technology. You want to read about agriculture. Like, everything that has to do with agriculture, you just want to know it. Like, you want to know the latest trends in agriculture. Like, you just want to understudy it, all the policies in agri, you want to know it. What are those things you like? What industries do you like? And you just love the event industry. Like, everything about the event industry just fascinates you. Everything about maybe the tech world, like, we are just excited about it. Please write that down as well. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. So the next one we'll do now is, we need to talk about technical versus creative skills. Do you prefer tech tasks rather, such as, do you like to manage software, work with data, integration, you like to troubleshoot, you want to know what's happening on the back end of that website, or you like creative tasks like content creation, social media management? You just love creativity. Everything that has to do with creativity, you are there. You just want to be there. Creative tasks like content creation, so you just want to be, you're happy doing it. Drawing, graphics designing, media management, SEO, writing, you just love it. Even there is also in writing, you have proofreading, you have ghost writing, you have all these things where you would proofreading is basically where you proofread text content for errors. Ghostwriting is where you would write for someone, but you will not lay claim. Like, there's nothing about, it's just like white labeling. You don't have your name. You cannot lay claim to the book that you wrote. So what are these things? What part of the divide do you fall? Do you love technical skills? Do you love creative tasks? Which one do you really like? So that's another thing you should write. So if you have eye for design, for example, like, you just see designs and, in your head, you are already like analyzing the design, like, no, this color grading was not done properly here. Oh, this color combination was not, why did they put this color? You might likely, you know, want to consider graphics design, content creation. Like, there's a way to put these carousels. Once we arrange these carousels well, it will come out better like this, or it will look better like that. You might be turning towards content creation and graphic design. Or it could be project management, operations. You are just very hands-on. You just like to do things, project management, what's it called, managing software. You just want to do things. You can manage a team, you can coordinate a team, ensure everyone is not slacking. You are just everywhere. You are loyal. In fact, you are once they give you a task, just the person, your executive can go to sleep. You are very good at project managing people, project management, manage people, manage tasks. You don't skip deadlines. You meet your deliverables. Nothing falls to the cracks. You love everything. Organization is on point. You might likely want to turn towards project management on operations. Okay, so I hope you've taken. I'll give you 1 more minute to put down your thoughts. You can put it down in your notes. Like I said, you need to have a note somewhere where you're putting these things down, so it can help you, see where your interests, your skills lie. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Awesome. So let's move to the next one. Now, remember what we finished here was we looked at our skills and our strengths, right? Now let's look at what do we enjoy. Your success as a virtual assistant depends not just on what you're good at, but also what you enjoy doing. Because I hope you know some people have been forced to become good at something, not necessarily because they enjoy it, but because they need the money. And so they're just doing it. Like, let me just do it just to get this my pay, just to get the paycheck at the end of the day. They're not excited about it. And when you are not excited about something, you're just going through the notion. Let's just this is another day. Let's just your productivity is not at its best. So now this is a reflection exercise. What makes you feel the most productive? What makes you feel the most productive? I hope you know there's also even transcribing as a skill where someone speaks and then you transcribe what they say. There's language interpretation. There's language interpretation as well, where you can translate Spanish to English, translate what now? Mandarin to Portuguese. So what do you feel the most productive doing? Like when you do this, you are happy. When you do it, there's just this excitement. You feel fulfilled. You feel like, no, I did something that I really love to do. Do you like to solve problems? Do you like to organize data? Are you someone that once you find any data, the next thing, without even thinking, you're already looking at it, you're trying to identify patterns. What patterns? Oh, what is the next? How can I need to analyze this data? Oh, what are the recurring trends? How does this work? Are you that kind of person? Do you love to just help people? Like if a person reaches out to you, you will not leave them until you are done solving that problem. Are you someone who just loves to teach? Like if you teach anybody, they would understand, no matter how hard it is. Or do you love to create things? You just like to create. I want to create a new recipe. Oh, I want to create a new design. Oh, this you saw a design on Instagram, like who is the designer that created this? This thing can be better than this now. Why did they do this? You just love to create things. So those things that you enjoy the most, write them down. You love to organize events. You might likely be in the event niche. Procurement and usage. That's looking like e-commerce. Okay. So if, for example, you enjoy helping people solve problems, and and making things more efficient, you might likely thrive as a customer support VA, or even maybe an operations VA or a project management VA, right? If you like to research, if you like to write, like you just love writing about things, you love learning new things, you love researching, well, content creation might be your niche. Content creation might be where you actually fit in. Like you just want to research about things, you want to understand, oh, why is this article, why is this website ranking higher than this other website here? Content creation might be the niche that you need. Okay, so that's very, very, very important. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Good. Now let's go to the next one, aligning passion with profit. Now, money is important. Okay? Because that's why all of us are here, isn't it? We're here because we want to make more money. We're here because we want to make more money. We want to, increase our streams of income. That's why we're here. So it is important to find a balance between what you enjoy and what the market needs. So yes, you love to do this, you love to do XYZ, but also you don't want to just say, "Oh, I love doing this," and then there is no demand for it. Sometimes you have to be the one to even create your demand. I'll explain what I mean by create your demand. There's a way you can position yourself, right? Such that a company might or someone might not realize that they need your service. But you will position yourself in such a way that you would reach out to them, sell yourself to them, and they will open up a space for you. I mean, I've had cases of people who got who got roles that were not even advertised. It was not even a vacancy. But they reached out, they pitched themselves very well, and because of them, that role was opened up. So, like I said, you have to align your passion with your profit. Yes, I'm very good at this. Yes, I love to do this. Yes, I want to do this. But how do I ensure that I'm not just the only one that is here? No, but how do I monetize my interest? Okay, so that's something that you need to understand. You need to find a balance. All right, research ways. If you enjoy technology, you might SaaS. There are a lot of SaaS companies, right? There are a lot of tech organizations. I think that's where I want to pitch my services to them. That's where I want to go to. Okay, so um it's almost 8 o'clock. It's almost time for our break, and I don't want to go into this next slide. Liking social media, of course. I mean, that's how to be that's where it starts from, being an influencer. Not just when you want to be active. Now, just to answer a K Mini's question. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but just to answer the question, does liking social media count? Like when someone likes to be active on the social media space? Absolutely, yes, it counts. But what will make the difference is what you're doing on social media. What are you doing? Are you just looking at people's posts and liking it and not doing it, not putting out any value? So it depends on how you are using that space. I mean, there are people that actually like social media. There are people that love to be on social media, but what are you using it for? What are you doing there? Are you putting out value? Are you giving value? What are you putting there to see? How are you attracting people to your page? How are you attracting people to you? What are you putting there? What's your CTA, your call to action? Do you understand? So it's yes, you might like it, but then how do you position yourself for people to know that you have something to offer? So it's beyond yes, you love it, and it's good that you love it. It's good you have identified that you love to be on social media. But are you just there scrolling and viewing other people's posts and saying, oh, and you're not even thinking about what to do with yours? You're not trying to build a community. You're not trying to offer value. You're not trying to do anything. Yeah. So that's something. Oyekachi says she likes organizing, enjoy planning and executing. That looks like project management. That looks like project management. Organize a lot of once you're a project manager, you do a lot of organization. You will definitely, because that's what it is. You are managing projects. You're organizing projects. You are putting it into scope. You're ensuring that things do not fall through the cracks. Nobody drops the ball. Plans are executed as when due. You're submitting. I mean, that's project management. Okay, so you might want to look into that. Okay. I think tomorrow as well, I'm going to speak on, or I'm going to talk on how to become better in this chosen field. Okay. So that'll probably be for tomorrow. But now it's almost break time. So for Onyekachi, your favorite industries are event and hospitality. I hope you know that with event and hospitality, you might not be a full VA. Sometimes you might need to go in physically. That's something you need to consider. If you know you cannot go into anywhere, you don't want to step out of your house, then you may not. Chances are your executive might require that you come in. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock now, and we'll go on break for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, we'll come back to the next exercise. But I hope we have our jottings ready, because these things will put you on track. You will know what to do. It will give you an inkling into what really, what you're good at. All right, so we'll see in 10 minutes. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back from your break. So tell me how. I hope you were able to stretch, drink some water. Um, yeah. All right. So before we continue, can you tell me how the class has been so far? What have you learned? Are you learning anything? I know there are questions, but don't worry, we'll attend to the questions. However, what have you learned so far? How has it been for you? Has the class been exciting? Has the class been worth your time? What have you been learning? What have you learned so far? Please let me know. Okay, interesting. So tell me what you've been learning so far. Tell me. Okay. And what makes you happy? Class has been eye-opening. Class has been quite educating. Right. Educative and interesting. Hmm. Choosing the right niche. Okay. Okay. Good. Missed some classes. You can catch up with classes. You can always catch up with classes. It's on YouTube, so you can just always catch up with it. Discovering your niche through your passion. The skills required for my niche of choice. Skills. The last class has enlightened me about my skills, and I learned the right niches. I learned that for enterprise VAs work with the executive. There are different niches in the VA industry. Yes, please. Okay, so basically, yeah, just to go over that, being in a V as a virtual assistant is not. I know everybody. The most popular niches in virtual assistants are administrative and administrative niches and customer support. Those are the most popular ones, right? But it's way more than that. Okay, you have different. You can assist people in different capacities. All right, you can assist. I mean, of course, yes, there's administration and there's also customer support, but there are a lot more ways you can assist people. It's virtual assistance. Basically, it means assisting virtually. Okay, and so you can assist in whatsoever. You can assist in different forms. You can provide assistance in different ways. Okay, so yeah. All right, so now we're moving on to the next, and that is matching your strength to your niche. Okay, so now by now, I believe we have identified our strengths, we have identified our skills, we have identified a couple of things, right, which we have looked into. So now we need to now match these skills and these interests to where these opportunities are. What are the opportunities available in this different niche? What are the opportunities I can get? What is the demand for this? Where can I even work? with this skill set that I have. All right. So we're going to do a strength versus demand analysis. And I want you to please follow me very, very closely. Okay. Please follow me very closely. Like I said, you need to have a note for this class. So please, I want you to list your top skills. Now draw out a table. If you have a computer, you can go to your Google spreadsheets or Microsoft Excel. Draw out your I want you to have a table. If you have a notepad with you, please use your notepad. Okay. Now you in one column, I want you to write like at the top should be your skills, and then that's in one column. In one column, please write your skills, and then beside it, you can write the niche itself. What niche do you, based on the skills and the strengths that you have written, what niche do you think this, based on our conversation so far, what niche rather do you think this your skill and your strength is best suited? So for example, if your skill is maybe communication, you just really like to write a lot, or you like to speak, you might, some of the matching niches would include customer support, um medical. You can also be a medical VA if you really like to write a lot. Like if you like to write a lot, if you like to communicate a lot, if you like to organize things a lot. You can also be, if you like to write, you can become an SEO writer. You can also be a writer, because I hope you know you can do SEO writing and just ordinary writing. You can also do content creation, because writing is also part of content. Are we doing that? Please let me know. I need feedback, please. I need feedback. So Mary, even if you don't have a skill, there are things you can definitely do. There are things that interest you, right? If you look at search, SEO means search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. So please, I need feedback. Are you writing? Are you writing? List out your, on one section, list out your skills, your strengths, and then beside it, based on the conversation we've had so far, where do you think, what niche do you think? Yeah. So you can have different sectors, still write it out. That's no problem at all. Okay, that's no problem. So if you really like to organize, if you have like organizational skills, administrative skills, you like typing, you like you might, that's it. You can become a C-suite executive, you can become a VA to a C-suite executive to an entrepreneur, you can become an operations, a project management VA if you really like organization. You can become a customer support, but you also ensure that you have to like to communicate, because with customer support comes communication, right? If yours is social media, then obviously social media management, content creation, SEO, record label, because for some, if you're going to assist a record label owner, definitely they need publicity, high demand. They need to, social media engagement, like how well can you engage their fans, how well can you create strategies that would draw people to their page on social media, promote them, and all of those things. When they have an event, how do you ensure that their fans, those that love them, hear about the event? So yeah, because as a record label player, you need to love social media as well. Then, are you there? Are we on track? Please let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I need your feedback. Are you writing? Are you writing? Are you writing? Are you writing? Please, I need feedback. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Okay. So I saw a question that asked somebody asked a question saying, is calendar scheduling the same as time blocking? So it's not exactly the same thing. Okay. Although it's basically about time management, right? It still has to do with time management, but it's not exactly the same. So in calendar scheduling, what you're doing is you simply allocate, right? You allocate time. Oh, I have a meeting by so and so time. Oh, I have to meet with these clients by XYZ time. Oh, I have to meet with these people by this time, or I need to visit a site, or I need to travel on so day, so I'm not available. That's, I mean, basically you're allotting times, right, for specific events or tasks on your calendar, like meetings, for example, like appointments, like deadlines, right? So, for example, you can schedule a meeting from 2 to 3. That's basically calendar scheduling. But time blocking is when you divide your day into blocks of time. So, basically, you want to focus on one task, right? On one task without getting disturbed. So, for example, I want to block out 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. on my calendar because I want to focus on writing the report. I don't want anybody to interrupt me. No meetings, nothing, no other tasks. Do you understand my point? So that's the difference. Like for calendar, so for example, if you are an administrative assistant, for example, and you feel like your boss is getting a lot of interruptions, like so many meetings, he does not even able to concentrate. You can block his calendar for 3 hours. Like on that calendar, there is nothing. You can Some people call it focus time. Like there's nothing on this calendar for 3 hours. No meetings, no appointment, nothing. These 3 hours is only for him to focus. And then after that time, you can now begin to schedule his calendar for other things. Like okay, other meetings can now come after the the first 3 hours that you already blocked. Do you understand? So yeah, that's it. Okay, so yeah, still on our matching our strength to our niche and niche opportunities. So um you have, if for example your strength is financial management, you just love financial management, everything that has to do with finance, you know you might want to look into bookkeeping. There are people on there are small businesses that don't even understand what it means to have like up to date books. And by books, I don't mean like ordinary books, I mean like accounts. Like they don't even understand that they need to keep an account, they need to have up to date account, they don't even know these things. You can offer that as a service, let them understand, because these are things that you need when you want to apply for grants, apply for loans, from the government. They'll tell you, okay, let's see what you've been doing for the past, you've been in business for 2 years. Can I see your books? Or can I see your books? Where's it, your account? And then they don't even have any record. Like they don't even know what it is. This is a service you can offer. Like, okay, I can assist you, put your books together, make sense of your business. Let's know where has your money been going for the past 2 years of your business. Where have you been putting your money? Credit debits. How have you been managing your business funds? What's your capital looking like? What's the financial health of your business? That is a service you can offer. You can assist with that. Reach out. There are a lot of small business owners on Instagram. Position yourself as someone who knows what they are doing. Pitch your services to them and become a financial assistant. That's also, like I said, there's just this virtual assistant has just been framed to like we just feel like, oh, virtual assistant, I'm just an administrator. No, it's not this. You can be an administrative assistant, you can be a financial assistant, you can be an event assistant and still be virtual. You can be what? A medical assistant, a virtual medical assistant. So yeah, these things are there. You can be a creative assistant even. So you have that. If your skills are mostly centered around problem solving and analytical skills, just really love to just solve problems. You love to analyze things. You can decide to become an operations VA. Operations. If yours is around graphic design, content, creativity, you might decide to be a graphic design VA, right? Record label, because you need to do a lot of campaigns, a lot of designs for your executive and all those things. Research. Some people really love to research about different things. So there's that. Data entry. Sales and lead generation. If you are very good at sales, you can become a sales virtual assistant. Position yourself as a sales guru. Reach out to businesses, let them understand that you will give them confirmed, like 50 confirmed leads every month that would convert. That's it. You're a sales virtual assistant, and that kind of role, you don't even need to, it's fully virtual. The most important thing is you're delivering. That's it. Okay. So if you're a very good marketer, you know what to, like, you're a very good art specialist. That's it. You can become a virtual lead generation assistant. Blocking is like allotting time for that duration of hours, right? Yes, you're allotting time for specific, like you're not exactly putting a meeting in the calendar. You're blocking it because you don't want anything in that time, so that they're able to focus, or maybe they have something personal or something much more. Maybe they need to focus, or maybe they need to do like deep strategy, and they don't want any disturbance around that time. So you block that time out, so nobody else is able to book any meeting on that calendar. All right. So yeah, that's it. So for fintech VA and bookkeeping VA, basically fintech is like industry. So I want to work in the fintech industry. I can start to work in the fintech industry as a customer support VA. I can decide to work in the fintech industry as an administrative VA. I can decide to work in the fintech industry as a social media manager, because yeah, they also need that too, right? So that's the industry. Then bookkeeping is more specialized. Like, okay, I want to be a bookkeeper. You can be a bookkeeper to someone in the fintech industry. You can be a bookkeeper to someone in fashion. You can be a bookkeeper to someone in e-commerce. All right. Okay, so now have we done this? I still have another task for us. Yours is planning and organizing events, listening, counseling people, offering hospitality services. You most likely fall in event planning. That's Agatha. I don't want to mispronounce your last name. For Agatha, you most likely fall in event planning, project management, because you love to organize things, you love to organize events, you love to listen. Sorry, give me a sec. You love to organize events, you love to plan, ensure things don't go wrong. Hospitality as well, hospitality, basically, like, you're serving people, you're making sure people are okay, you're making sure people are all right, everyone is comfortable. That's looking like events. Project management, that's most likely where you fit into. Okay, so you might want to reach out to someone like an event planner who you really admire and pitch your service to them. I mean, in terms of like pitching services, that's a whole section, and I think that section is going to be covered maybe in week 9 or thereabouts. Okay. So yeah, now I want us to do something else. I hope since we have all matched our skills to our niche. Now I want us to, just give me a sec. Now I want us to go to, I hope we have our computers. I want us to go to LinkedIn. So some of you can go to Upwork if you know how to use, like right now on the call. If you know how to use Upwork, you can go on Upwork. If you know how to use LinkedIn to search for job vacancies, you can use LinkedIn to search for it. If you know how to use Upwork to search, please use Upwork to search. If you know how to use Fiverr, please use Fiverr to search. Now I want you to search for virtual assistant roles vacancies in your niche. All right, virtual assistant vacancies in your niche. So for example, if you have identified that, oh, it looks like my strong points or my strong areas, it looks like I might most likely fit into event planning, you need to go and search for event virtual assistants on either, depending on whichever platform you're good at using. If you're good at using LinkedIn, you can go on LinkedIn. If you're good at using Fiverr, you can go on Fiverr. If you're good at using Upwork, you can go on Upwork. Now, the aim here is not for you to apply to the roles. The aim here is for you to see what the requirements are, so that you can now understand how best to prepare and position yourself. Did you get my explanation? I'll take it again. So I want you to go on whatever platform you are strongest at. Maybe LinkedIn, there's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's even Google Jobs, there's Indeed as well. Go on there and search. If your strength is in organization and you feel like you will thrive, your niche is most likely looking like events or it's most likely looking like project management, I need you to go online and search for project management assistants, events management virtual assistants, so that you can narrow it down. If your niche is in customer support assistant. If your niche is in um, administrative assistance. So search for these things, and then when you search for these things, you can look through what they require. And that can, I want you to, like I said, this is not a class to show you how to get a job. No, it is how I want you to see what these people require. Most likely, you would find that some of the skills that they are looking for have already been identified in among your strengths and your skills. So let's get to it. All right, let's get to it. I hope, are we on it? Please give me feedback. I want to be sure that we're on it. Please give me feedback. Please give me feedback. Please give me feedback. Are we on it? And when you search, if you identify any skill that you know you already identified, please put it in the chat. Let me know. Can you see any skill that looks like, this looks like me, this looks like me, this looks like me? Please let me put it in the chat. Let me know. For a person to be a VA to a C-suite executive, what are the skill requirements? So yeah, I already touched on this. I don't know if you were in the class at the time that I touched on it, but to be a VA to a C-suite executive, a C-suite, like I mentioned, a C-suite executive is a top personality. So your communication has to be strong, your organization has to be strong, calendar management, travel setting, you have to set if they're traveling, you have to set their appointment, ensure that they don't clash, minutes taken, even when they go into meetings and you have to be there, take the minutes of the meetings and all those things. So yeah, communication, you need to have very strong communication skills, because you might likely need to even speak to the clients of this C-suite executive, and you want to communicate well because you're representing your C-suite, right? So these are the things you need to consider. Yeah, but you can always go over the class because I touched on all of those things. I touched on that skill set much earlier. Exactly. So Odunola said that on LinkedIn she searched for administrative VA vacancy, and the responsibilities stated are all what she loves to do. So you can see it, right? Queen, if blocking is like allotting time for that duration of hours, so what will be the heading or subject? Or it doesn't need any description. Oh, so it's most likely part of as that skill. As if I get what you're saying, you're trying to ask what niche that falls under. It's versatile. You need that for your if you're in the medical VA field, you need that. You need that if you're working with a record label. They might just decide that, you know what, I want to rest. All right, I really want to rest, and I don't want any meetings. So block my calendar from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Right, so that's it. You can be working with a C-suite executive and they tell you, you know what, I need to do deep work right now and I don't want any interruptions to my day. So block my calendar 2 to 5 o'clock. Nothing goes on that calendar. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so there are different people that require that particular skill. So for Jumbo, you said you searched medical VA, but they require on-site. That's just probably one. You keep searching, narrow down your keywords, medical virtual assistants. Keep narrowing down your keywords. Look at different sites. Go on Upwork. Search again. Look at different. You can't just search. You can't just search for one. You can't just do a single search and then assume that that's the only one. There are a couple of others. So keep searching. Narrow down. Change your keywords. I'm sure you find something. Okay, because even in being a medical VA, you have appointment setters, you have calendar management, right? So yeah. Okay, so I need more feedback, please. How many of you have looked through and found something that looks like what you already wrote down in terms of like the skills and the requirements? Feedback, please. Feedback. Virtual, like social media managers. I mean, by now I should be seeing a lot of you like social media managers, content creation, graphics, what else? Content creation, graphics, design, even financial bookkeeping, financial management, business plan, business analysis, data, and those you can ask. Like I said, we have you see virtual assistant has evolved from just what's it called, administration or customer support. There is a whole lot of ways you can assist people right now. I can decide that, you know what, I don't want to do my, I mean, I have a business I'm running and I don't want to bother with trying to hire a full-time what's it called, a full-time financial analyst. I want to hire someone virtually who would assist me in financial analysis, right? That's one thing. So I'm looking for a financial analyst that will that will assist me in that area of my business. Okay, so that is also it. So basically, it's an assistant. You can assist in any way as long as you're adding value. So I want you to move your mind from I only have to be administrative, I only have to be VA, and that is all. I mean, sorry, it only has to be administrative, it only has to be what's it called, support. That's all. Okay, so yeah. Queen, how do you boost your portfolio? Okay, so that's not what this class is for. I think there's probably going to be another class on this. I'm not really sure, but portfolio boosting on LinkedIn is a whole nother topic on its own. Okay. Onyekachi on Jobberman description and requirements for project manager are what I can do and love doing. Fantastic. So you see it. You said most likely that's why it is good to match your strength to your niche, because it just helps you, you know that, okay, this is what I can do already. And even if you have to, get in, you already have the skills or you already have the requisite opportunities. Okay. Jibril said, I have searched on Upwork and they're looking for someone in executing projects across organizations. And I love, I'm not sure, maybe there's a typo there. You can retype so that I can read it out. Communication skills and data entry. Skills cuts across every niche, because in every niche you're going to be communicating. So you need to communicate in every niche that you're in. You need to search, right? You need to communicate rather across every niche. Just communicate. It's important. Even if you are a record label VA, you are a financial analyst, you are a social media manager, it's still communication. Communication is written, communication is verbal. Okay, so it cuts across everyone. All right, data entry as well. Medical VAs, where you have like you have to impute customer data. Support requires data entry. If you work in real estate, it also requires data. So data is everywhere, right? So you can work anywhere. That depends on the industry that you want to work in. Some you might love tech, you might love social media, you might love e-commerce, you might love software as a service. It depends on the industry, but communication and data entry cuts across everywhere. And that's for you, Okpami Posi, me. Okay. So transcribing, yes, I definitely care. Yes, that's also a skill. You transcribe. It's also a skill. But as long as you are very good, you can listen, you can transcribe. Can one be a transcriber and a V at the same time? Well, it depends on how you're able to manage, because that's, like I said, transcription. You are transcribing documents. So yeah, why not? As long as you're able to manage your time, manage your skills, nothing drops, nothing slips through the cracks. That's absolutely fine. Okay? That's absolutely fine. So I need more people to let me know what they found. I need more people to tell me that they found things that they saw. Basically, I need more people to let me know that they found similarities between what they already wrote down and the skills that are required in the job ad. More people, please. I'm trying to also answer questions alongside. So if I probably missed your questions, please ask again so that I can take them. Queen says, I love customer support, but it's stressful sometimes. Well, customer support, stressful, it depends. When you say stressful, I mean, how do you mean? I don't think there's any job that does not have its own level of stress. So I'm not sure what you mean by how do you go about it, you know. So I think I just need more context, but I believe every kind of job has its own level. I mean, what it requires of you to get the job done. So yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So Jibril already said I have searched on Upwork and they are looking for someone in executing projects across and then and look for someone sorry this and look for someone in executing projects across organization, and the job description aligns with what I love doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. For Lucas Sanisi says, I search for business development assistants. Skills needed. Number one, ad serving, communication, customer satisfaction. These are things I love to do. Yeah. Um, okay. Queen says, in terms of customer complaints, yes. So you would have to handle customer complaints, absolutely. And that's why you're there. If that's why you need to, and if you love to help people to solve problems, then this should not be a problem for you. But if you find that you're not patient, you don't really like to people asking you questions. You don't like if someone asks you a question too much. Rather, you're already irritated. You might not really fit into customer support because people. Oh, that's why you are there. You are there to support them. People will always reach out to you for questions. They'll always reach out to you to get your help. And so if you feel like after first 2, 3, 4, 5 people, you're already getting tired and cranky, then that might not really be your strength. Okay. So Bukola said most of the requirements is to have 1 to 2 years working experience in this. What can we do? So I already touched on this yesterday. So for that, I said sometimes if you don't have the required number of experience, or if you are like totally new to this field, right? There are different ways you can do it. Number one, either you decide to volunteer, get someone and tell them, I want to work for free. I want to just do something. And this is and please don't go about pitching to maybe like you want to work with C-suite executives and you don't even have any experience, and now you entered maybe in Yolua's DM, in Yolua Aboyeji's DM, and then says, hey, I want to come and work with you. Please don't do that. You have to gain experience. How do you do it? You can decide to volunteer for someone who is maybe like a small business owner that is still within the same industry, but they will answer you if you reach out to them. Okay. Then another thing is you can look around, maybe your dad has a small, maybe printing press or a small print shop or a small company. Just say, okay, no, what, dad, I want to be your virtual assistant, or I want to be your bookkeeper, or I want to do this for you. That's one thing, is experience. It doesn't matter it's your experience you are gaining. Okay. Or you have a friend that has a store on Instagram. Say, babe, please, I want to become your assistant. Don't worry, unpaid assistant for you. How do you do this? How do you manage, that way you can also get you can do that for like a couple of months, get your experience, and then use that to boost your CV. Okay. For Mary Olaraji, yes. So it's not everyone that takes volunteers, but I believe that we have our network, right? You have people around you. If you look around, you have like 2, 3, 4 people that have a business at least. Even if they're not the business not as big as what you want, but at least they are doing something. You can decide to just do that. Tell them, what, I want to learn from you. I want to be your assistant. Okay, I want to assist you in this area, data entry. Oh yeah, all this your data that is just lying around, let me start entering it on the computer for you. So yeah, from that way you start to gain experience. Simisola on Onabo, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. You said you found yours. So what did you find? What did you find? What did you find? If Olua asks, what's the difference between customer support and customer success? In a nutshell, I'll just say customer support is reactive support. Customer success is proactive. So basically, customer support is you are there to attend to customers when they reach out to you to lay a complaint. So the customer encounters a problem or they need support with something that's basically your product, you're there to support them. But then customer success is you are there to even ensure that the problem does not even happen in the first place. So internally, before the product even goes out, there are measures you put in place to ensure that the product does not even encounter, the customer does not even encounter a problem when using that product. So you do things like software testings, you do things like UAT, you do things like incorporating the voice of the customer into the product, you do things like temperature checks or pulse checks, ensure the customer is happy. You need to be able to monitor the customer's health in terms of like how happy they are with your product. You need to build relationships with the customer. So that's what customer success is about. All right, just ensuring that the customer does not have problems at all. You have issues validating your email on Upwork. I'm not sure. I think you can view Upwork as a guest. Since you're not prospecting for jobs yet, I don't think you need to create an account. I mean, I might be wrong though, but if you are here and you used Upwork to search, you can please just check to you can just help you can just help sorry, that chat has gone. There's someone here who says she's having issues with validating her email. So if you, I think Comforter, yeah. So if you were able to use Upwork, you can just help Comforter with it. Okay, Karine says that she searched on LinkedIn for project management VA and the skill requirements she came across tallies with her skills and interests. See that? That's amazing. That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. So, that would help you even when you don't. And the good thing about this, right, is even if you don't have the required assistance, even if you don't have the required knowledge, or even if you're not sure about, okay, I'm really interested in the fintech industry, I want to work maybe as a social media manager, for example, in the fintech industry, and you don't really know what to do, or you don't even have the experience, have doing this exercise, going to just search and look at vacancies would help you know what you need to do, will help you know what you need to get, will help you know the skills. Okay, do I need to take a skill? What skill do I need to improve on? What are they asking for that I need to get? What are they asking for that I need to have? If, for example, you don't have experience and you want to probably help your friend, volunteer you want to volunteer with your friend, you want to volunteer for maybe like a friend of yours or your parent or somebody that has a business, right? Another thing you can do is you just look through and the ads, you will most likely see what they require, and you can begin to incorporate that into your friend's business, and that way you are gaining experience. Okay. Kolade Tolulope, what's the difference between customer support and customer success? I already answered that, so you might need to do a playback so you can hear, but I already answered that. Where can I work for free just to grow myself before I start applying for jobs? So I know there are sites that allow you to work, to basically do some free work. How did I forget this? I know there's Forage, yeah. Forage, Forage. Forage allows you to, it has opportunities. I mean, it's not like you're working for you. How do I describe this now? Just go on Google and search out Forage. I mean, you see it. You would see what they require. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna try to look for others. I can't remember at the top of my head right now, but yeah, Forage is one that I know. So you can Google it, and yeah, you will see different skills that you can practice. It has real time it has I think real life cases that you can work on, right? So that should help. I'm sure hopefully I would add in my slides for tomorrow, I would add maybe links to websites that allow you to just work for free. Okay. So Forage is a website that, just give me a sec. Let me Google it myself from here. It allows you to prepare. Yeah, they have job simulations, okay, designed by employers, so you can do virtual internships. Yeah, you can do virtual internships on Forage. Different employers, different companies have put like their internship programs on Forage, so it's not like you're not exactly like a staff of the company or you were hired to, but they've put like a program where you can gain work experience So it's a system they put in place to just help people gain experience, basically. So like I said, and it's not like you're not hired. The company didn't hire you, but they just helped with putting the their job simulations online to give you that experience. So it's Forage. Then I saw someone asking about tools I think needed to work as a VA, medical VA. Of course, there are different so there's something they call HIPAA, right? HIPAA. And I know that they have different communication platforms. Okay. I'm not a medical doctor, neither am I in the health sector. So, but I know that they have all these things, right? If you go online, you search it, they have things um like UpDocs, Ring Central. These are specific softwares. Then also even for meetings as well, I think they have Doxy.me for meetings, for telemedicine as well. They also have electronic health record systems. If you go to hospitals today, most hospitals do not use like paper. I mean, at least most advanced hospitals now don't use the normal, like the conventional paper and biro that they used to use those days. What you have now, you have like electronic health record systems where you just go in, they will type in your name and then it comes out with your record. When you want to go into the city doctor, you don't need to carry any card or anything. They already send the information to the doctor. So yeah, they have those equipments, right? And I think some of them include like Practice Fusion. So just need to check that. And then also appointment scheduling tools, right? You want to schedule an appointment for your executive. You have like Simple Practice. You can use Calendly as well. Dr. Chrono is another one. All right. Then also billing tools, right? When maybe you want to bill your patient. Okay. There's advanced MD, right? So yeah, medical coding tools as well. That's if you want to really go into the interior parts of the technical aspects of things. So you have find a code as well. So then also project management, you can use Trello, Asana, ClickUp, and all those things. So yeah, just go. I mean, you can just do your research, find out what they are using in that industry. Vivian, can you work with just your phone? What kind of work? What kind of work are you referring to? Yeah, exactly. They use EMR for records, exactly. So nowadays, I mean, it has evolved. So you need to just learn about these things. Learn about EMR. You can even research what are the top EMRs that are being used right now, and then just get knowledge about it. So Vivian, I don't know what kind of work you want to do with your phone. If you would just specify, so that I can clarify that. Okay. So we're gradually wrapping up. So yeah, like I said, this is just search. Anytime you're in doubt of anything, you can always just go back to search. I mean, like I said, I believe that now I think I have one more slide here to show. Okay, so I don't need to do this anymore because we have all done that. So yeah, these are your action steps. List your skills like we've done already. List your skills, list your strengths, then research your demand, right? Go on job boards, like I already explained. Go to Upwork, go to Fiverr, LinkedIn. There's Indeed, there are a lot of them, trust me. Even Google. There's Indeed, there's LinkedIn, there's Jobberman, there are just a lot of them. Go there, find these job descriptions, write out your keywords. Medical VA, graphics design VA, financial analyst, sales lead generator, graphics design, content writer, content creator. Just search, the social media manager. Search out these things. Okay, once you search these things out, you would find these job descriptions and you would see your skill sets based on your research. Okay, match your skills to the most suitable niche where the demand is high. All right, and then adapt your profile, tailor your resume to it. I talked about portfolio yesterday. You should have your portfolio. I mean, social media manager, lead generator. If you're a lead generation assistant, you should have your portfolio. Let us know how many leads you have helped a particular company to generate. How did you improve their bottom line? How did you move them from point A to point B? All those things, like your numbers. Show us. Those are the things that should be in your portfolio. If you're a graphics if you're a graphics design assistant, have those things. Let's just see your designs. Okay, adapt your profile, tailor your portfolio, because I also mentioned positioning. You have to also position yourself properly. It's one thing to know how to do these things, it's another thing to position yourself so people can see you. Okay, so yeah, We have 3 minutes to the end of the class. I hope today's class was helpful. I mean, I believe that I've touched on a lot of questions. I've touched on a lot of questions. I'm trying to look to see if there's any other question that I have not answered. Okay, so I think I have touched on a lot of questions. So what could be in a customer support VA's portfolio? So you can have things like your first FRT. FRT means first response time. You can have things like your CSAT score. CSAT score means customer satisfaction score. You can have things like your issue resolution timelines. You can have things like your you can have things like, even in terms of how your upsell and cross sell, how you're able to upsell and cross sell. Those are things you could have in your customer support portfolio. And there are a lot of other things. Like I said, that's why you have to do a lot of research. Like research, go on LinkedIn, check out people who are already doing these things. Some of them have their portfolios on their LinkedIn profile. Go on there, look at their portfolio. Okay, so they can have an idea of how these things are done. I'm not saying please don't copy and paste. That's you can get sued for that. So don't copy and paste, but you can get you can just get inspiration, okay, by just view other people that are already in the same field. Okay, for Queen, yeah, you can add your calendar. You can schedule events. You can add tasks as well. All right. Can I work with just my phone as a medical virtual? Okay, so medical VAs, I do not think I don't, like I said, I'm not in the medical field, so I don't know how complex their software is. And to be honest, sometimes working with a phone is not. I know it's not exactly efficient. It won't make you work as efficient as you would have worked if you had a laptop. Okay. So for some of these things, a phone might be slower. It might have like the interface might not even allow you properly do the job. Some phones work, some websites have better interface, better user interface on laptops than on mobile devices. So sometimes a phone might not really be your best bet. It's better to get like a small mini laptop, or if you have the phones, you can get like an actual laptop. So yeah. Mary, what's your question? Can you put it again? I might have missed it. For someone who's asking about optimizing LinkedIn, that's not for this class. That's a whole different topic. So I can't answer that in this class. How do I start up as an organization, as a travel agency V? I don't understand. When you say start up as an organization, you want to have an agency, or I don't understand that question. So if you could please rephrase. Oh, my name is Ololade. Ololade, yeah, that's my name. So for Queen, I don't understand your question. So if you could please rephrase that question. Oh, I can see you've been taught LinkedIn optimization. So yeah, if Lua, you can just go on YouTube and I'm sure you find the class again. Oh, how can VA help in an educational environment? Oh, that's very possible, because even again nowadays there are a lot of schools that use that don't even use like the conventional chalkboard anymore. They now do their work online. So you can even be a tech support staff or tech support VA, supporting with tech. I know that there is this company that I saw that had, I can't remember their name right now, but there's this software that they use for schools where you're able to, I think, you like get billing records, even your student record, have a software, your student, like their examinations. I think that if you have a software, because you have companies in the ed tech industry that are building softwares for education, where your students will not, they can take exams on the computer. They can take their exam results will be on the computer. Their students' record will be on the computer. Every information about them will be there. So that kind of software, that kind of company, you can work there as a tech support. So they very in depth. I mean, definitely you would be interacting with students, you'll be interacting with stakeholders in the educational sector. Someone said something. Okay, I said FRT. FRT means first response time, perpetual. It means first response time, meaning, so in customer support you also have softwares that you use to attend to tickets. Okay, to attend to customer issues. They can reach out to you via intercom. There's intercom, there's fresh desk, there are a couple of them. Okay, so if someone to reach out to you, the first time, how long does it take you to respond, to give the first response? That's first response time. So you should always aim to have a very low first response time, like maybe in less than, depending on the kind of industry, right? Maybe first response time can be like 2 minutes max. All right. You want to start up your company and render that service. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that we have VA agencies, companies that have like virtual assistant agencies. Yeah, we have that. We have those. So it's very, very possible. Yeah. Okay, so we've overspent our time. This is 3 minutes past 9. Thank you everyone once again for joining the call. I hope today's call was very helpful. Tomorrow we would wrap things up. Tomorrow we're considering how to improve. I think how to improve your skills, I believe, or how to improve your knowledge. I'll just check tomorrow. Okay, so and then we'll just wrap things up tomorrow as well. All right. Thank you everyone for coming to class today, and you have a great evening. Bye bye.